Good afternoon, World Wide Web. This is James, your favorite stock picker ticker guy. We're going to do some quick comparisons on the stock prices and fundamentals of Cinemark Holdings, aka Regal Theaters, and AMC Theaters. We're going to see which ones of these is the best buy. The movie industry was not dead before COVID. It was dead during COVID, obviously. But it's coming back. They're almost reaching their pre-COVID levels. People are coming back to the movies, and it seems to be mostly determined on what movies are out right now. When Paramount and Warner Brothers, and they put these commercials out, and Disney, and they get a lot of advertising for these hot new movies, people want to go see them, and they go to the theater and they watch them, and they pay $14 a ticket and $8 for popcorn and $7 for a Coke. And these places do really well on those quarters. And I have seen a slew of great movies coming out. I've got like 6 on my to-do list now. And I just thought maybe this was going to be a good quarter. So, hey, I figured I'd talk about which ones stand the most to benefit. Cinemark Holdings, $16.82 today. In 1 month, they are up almost 2%, amazingly. In comparison, AMC Entertainment, $4.55 today. In 1 month, they are down 22%. Ouch. In this case, Jeff Bezos was pretending he was going to buy this place, and I guess he backed out, or if everybody figured out he was just talking. And the stock came down from 5 something to 4 something. Let's look at the numbers really quick, the underlying factors of these companies. Start with AMC, since we're going reverse backwards. Income statement, quarterly, they are almost up to their pre-COVID levels. They're doing almost $1 billion a quarter right now. AMC is actually a bigger company than Regal, believe it or not. They're almost back to $1 billion a quarter. Pre-COVID, they were $5.5 billion a quarter. They were jamming. 5.47, 5.46, real solid $5.5 billion company with small profit wins or losses. They weren't making a ton here either. Regal, on the other hand, their income statement is, well, they're tracking right now $2.4 billion for the year, and that is not their full recovery. Their full recovery would be $3.28 billion. But are they homing in on it? Yes. Balance sheets. We'll go right into balance sheets. We'll start with Regal. Regal has a pretty moderately decent balanced balance sheet. They're right side up. They have more assets than liabilities. $4.70 billion in liabilities. So their monthly payments on their nut is about half what the monthly payment on the nut of AMC is. I'm not going to ruin the surprise, but let's look at AMC's balance sheet. It's more of a train wreck. As you can see, hold on. 2022, we have way more liabilities, $11.76 billion, more than double, almost triple what Regal has, and only $9 billion in assets. They are bringing it down, $10.28 billion, $10.82 billion. Liabilities, $13.13 billion, down to 12.61. That was a pretty big decrease, down to 11.76. This only runs through 2022. It does not include the March. Let's see how they did in March. Hopefully this will show us. And there it is. March. Now we're down to 11.44 billion in liabilities. It's still coming down. However, it should be noted that it's coming down at the expense of their assets line. So it's not like they're making a ton of money here to pay off their debt. They're raiding their assets line to get rid of their debt. Maybe they're selling off some locations. Maybe they're selling off some properties, or it must be locations, I would imagine. I don't know what other assets that they have, but yeah. AMC is a bigger company. AMC stock price is cheaper. AMC has more to gain. They stand on more of a stock price upside than Regal. Is Regal going to double anytime soon? I don't think so. I don't know. Let's see what their stock price was pre-COVID. Kind of get an idea. Where's Regal's heyday? Oh yeah, Regal was in the 30s. If Regal gets back to their pre-COVID levels, they're going to be in the 30s. They're 1682 now. So could this one double? Yeah, it could. It sure could. It's gone down 50% in 5 years, but that was because of COVID. You can see the big long line. It's starting to pucker up now. People are going back to the theater. They're putting in some good numbers. This is going to be a good quarter, hopefully, with lots of good movies coming out. Let's take a look at AMC. We know their earnings are almost back. Let's see how their prices comparing to pre-COVID. Pre-COVID prices, $10 to $20, somewhere around there. And then COVID kicked in and rocked it down. Then they had this massive spike. I think this was, I don't know, maybe we'll come back to the theater for a few minutes, or maybe we're not in COVID anymore, followed by a stock dilution. I'm not really sure what happened here. This thing actually hit $59 for a day. Let's check out the news that got it started. Stock tops, GameStop surge amid the Reddit boom. This was the stock squeeze. Everybody was trying to short squeeze this one, and here you got a big short squeeze. Shorts getting forced out, shot this thing up for $59 for a couple of minutes, and then of course it crackled right down. It took a whole year to crackle. So this was like your GameStop, but in reality, pre-COVID, the stock was under $20. In reality, if they're going to be staying in business, they're losing money right now. I want everyone to keep something in mind, though. They've lost money every quarter. They don't seem to be getting better at the money losing thing. They're losing just a little bit more money last quarter than they did the quarter before. Regal, on the other hand, their quarterly earnings are positive last quarter, negative the quarter prior, $99 million, a little bit of a loss, a medium loss, but they're profitable again. They're back. The only important thing I wanted to point out in this, folks, and the reason I'm choosing AMC over Regal as a stock price is because movie ticket has gone up. Hollywood feels like the movie theaters are open again, so they're going to start producing movies again, hopefully better ones more often, things that people want to see. But the one thing about the movie theater business that everybody needs to remember is it's the final dollars that you collect in every quarter that is your profit. It's those last dollars. It's the profit of Cinemark. If they do, let's just put it to the numbers, keep it official. If they do $610 million for the quarter, that's a hell of a quarter. But if they would have done $590 for that quarter, that $20 million of extra money, that was all profit. 100% of that is profit. So your month starts out right here, or I'm sorry, your quarter. Some people do it monthly, some do it weekly, some do it quarterly. We're going to do it quarterly for this example. But it takes this much money to pay for their locations, okay? So this bottom half of the chart, they can't make money on it. It's a loss if they don't earn it, but they have to do this much money in revenue just to pay their rent. They have to do this much money in revenue to pay their employees. They have to do that much in revenue to pay their executives, and they have to do like this much revenue to pay for the popcorn and to pay Paramount and pay whoever else they're buying their movies from. When they have to do anything over that, anything up and above that, is profit. These are static costs, employees, rent, renting the movies or buying the movies from Paramount, popcorn, Coca-Cola, red carpet, cleaning services, screen repair, equipment, new theater players. So these are all capped with built-in losses, just built-in expenses, is all the way through here. Businesses in there at the end of the month, it's those last 3 days of the month, it's those last 10 days of the quarter, it's that last day of the week. That's what decides whether you make a profit, just like in your personal life. You have to wake up every single week and start over again, and you realize that a quarter of your rent is due that week. You realize that a quarter of your cable bill, your phone bill, your power bill, your car insurance, and everything is that week. So the first, maybe $200 or $300 or $500 that you make every single week, in some people's cases, it's thousands of dollars every week you have to make just to break even. And everything after that is gravy. That's yours to get to go to the mall with. So if you decide to take Friday off and Thursday off, you're pretty much, going to live the poor life, because that was your money. That money you're going to make on Friday and Thursday, that was the only damn money you were going to keep, inevitably. If you'd have stopped on Wednesday, yeah, you just broke even for the week. Congratulations, you're eating ramen noodles next week. But just like with our own budgets, take a look at AMC and Regal in that sense and realize that this top half is the profit. Now, they're not back to full revenue yet, or they might be. They might be this quarter. You never know. It's been a bunch of bad movies in a row. That's why you've been seeing this downshift. I don't know, in Spider-Man 2 and Top Gear, I guess, were the last two big movies. Now they have a new Indiana Jones coming out, a new Will Ferrell movie. You got like 6 movies that are interesting. But you can watch the TV commercials and see what's coming out and see whether it sucks or not. And when you see good stuff and a big string of good stuff, you can assume that they're going to be doing pretty darn well at the movie theater. And you'll know you're living in a good quarter. It might be the time for an earnings report play. Buy the stock outright or get some short-term options to play the earnings report. Might be pretty smart. Because a company like this, like I said, everything on this top half, that's the nugget line. With Cinemark's case, they turned a $3 million loss. If they'd have just done $3 million more, it would have paid for that and they would have been in the profit. But they weren't. They lost $3 million. But yeah, everything at the very tippity top, just like with your personal life, in this situation is going to be all profit. So this company's growth from 6 million, they're pretty much at pre-COVID levels, all right, Regal is. Regal's at 2.4 billion a year pre-COVID. Oh gosh, no. Yeah, 3.28. So they've got from 2.4 to 3.28 to go. That's $1.28 billion in potential if they do recover to their same revenues. They have the same theaters. They're all still open. They're all still sitting there. Maybe not in AMC's cases. It looks like they got rid of a few. But in this case, you should see, a $500 million profitable company, very possibly, if they do recover. And if you think they're going to recover, if you think people are still going to see new movies and Hollywood's going to continue to buy TV commercials and make people want to see things, make them want to go to the theater, is it going to return to a $3 billion company? Yeah. At 2.4, they're damn well making money almost. At a 2.4 rate here, and they had a good June. They're still paying for their COVID debt through here. This is kind of unfair because they had to pay the get back open fees. And the, oh shit, we were closed for 2 years. We need to have this place anti-COVIDated. But 610 million. So I would say Regal is not back. AMC is not back. They're darn close to being back. Good movies will bring them back. So find the good movies, decide when they're coming back, and dive in. Because when they do the full recovery, they're going to get their full recovery. They're going to get their pre-COVID prices back. This AMC is going to be worth 10 or 15 bucks, maybe 20 bucks. This Regal's going to be worth 30 bucks if it recovers. Now, if people fall in love with don't fall in love with the movie theater business at all and go, ooh, I hate movies, I'm going to stream. Well, they weren't doing that in 2019, were they? No, they sure weren't. Was streaming available in 2019? Yep. Do people like to see new things? Yep. Do they run commercials and lure them to the theater? Yep. Does Cinemark and AMC have to pay for those commercials? Nope. It's just free advertising. So you got free advertising. You got people that are destined and desired to want to see your picture, that will drag other people to see your picture, that will pay $15 a ticket and $8 for a Coke. I don't know. These are awfully tempting. I would almost want to do a 1-year option and bet on a full recovery. They'll just double these prices. They'll take a Cinemark $30 January and an AMC $10 January. I'll bet you those options are dirt cheap right now. And are they going to get there? Is this going to be a good quarter? Are these the movies that need to come out to pump the theaters? Are you seeing enough TV commercials for new movies? Are they literally on every commercial break? Look at what's going on. Look at the number of dollars they're spending to get people to go to the theater. And there'll probably be a reaction to that, I would imagine. It's on the uptrend. You should track this stuff like a nerd. If you're an investor in movie theaters, you should get your earnings report out right here and say your income statement. And each quarter, write down the names of the movies that came out that quarter that this was in play. Write down the names of the movies. Suck. Oh, something good came out. Look at that. In June of 22, something good came out. This was the recovery right here. But that's the reason why this fell, is because a bunch of suck came out. And this is them with crappy movies. Best thing that's come out was in June. And they got to 744 million in revenue, which was pretty darn good. If they could continue with something like this, they could be at 2.8 billion a year, 2.9, 3 billion a year. They're almost in a full recovery at this level. This is Regal Cinemas. But yeah, this little down dip is just crappy movies. That's all that is. This company's not losing people to the oh, I don't go to cinemas anymore. No, that's not what's going on here. Let's look at the cash situations on these companies before we have to put our foot in our mouth and go, they can't make it. $661 million cash for Regal Theaters. AMC Theaters, we'll just call that enough. You got $1 billion in cash. $954 million for AMC. AMC's operating cost, $183 million. Are they going anywhere? No. Not even close. They got 5 years in their pocket. Operating cost for Regal. We're almost there. Sorry, sports fans. $268 million. Nope, they got 3 years in their pocket. And they're profitable already. Great things are going to happen for these companies, folks. The good movies are going to come out. Hollywood's ready to start investing again in making movies. There are going to be more of them. There are going to be better ones of them. There are going to be lots of advertising. You're starting to see it already. When you see a hot movie coming out, consider it and consider some options on these or picking up some shares. These are great opportunities, both of them, and I wouldn't shy away from either one of them. And actually, you know what? I would like to retract my other well, I don't know. This one might triple. We could go from 5 to 15. Regal might double. So I guess I will take AMC. I was going to give it a tie, but I don't know. Maybe you know what? I'll just do a little bit of both. That way I don't have to worry about who wins. Do a little bit of both and root for the movie industry and root for it to go up. And you never know. Maybe somebody will swoop in and buy this thing up. It seems like a no-brainer. Market cap's $2.3 billion on AMC. Market cap is through $2 billion on Regal. So they're equally sized companies. I guess AMC just has more diluted shares and more debt, and it's got a lower price also because of the being upside down on their balance sheet, which I'm sure they can afford. How many theaters are they shutting down, and how will that affect their future revenue? That worries me. I would look into AMC closing theaters. If they are closing any, then that is definitely going to have a few. That's not a recovery if you have a bunch less stores. To do a full recovery, you need the same amount of stores and just business to come back to it. So that's my review. Cinemark, CNK, AMC is AMC, Regal Theaters, and AMC Theaters. There you go. Have a wonderful day. Take care.